Okay, 1, 2, 3. Good tip when you're making a hugelkultur is to assemble all your materials in advance. They take a lot of materials and a lot of work, so if the materials are gathered in advance, then you can just go ahead and enjoy the assembly process. Today I learned that hugelkultur is an awesome thing to do with other people, and it's different every time, and that's a good thing.
A hugelkultur is a great way to make things grow fast and use up organic materials that are on hand that could be a problem or a waste product, and turn them into something that's very productive.
Hugelkultur to me is an awesome way to use up organic matter. When I'm pruning a shrub, I hold on to those prunings and I can use them in a hugelkultur.
Hi there, I'm Donna Balzer, and I'm joined today by Ben and Lisa, and we're building a hugelkultur. It's an exciting way to make more garden, and I need more garden. With the price of food today, it's just fantastic to be able to expand your green area, and especially when you have poor soil. And I have really poor soil here. So let's get at it. Hugelkultur is just a fantastic way to take a garden that was growing nothing, this was just a weed space before, and turn it into a productive vegetable growing area. So I'm really excited to have help to do that. Hugelkultur will take longer than you think if you've got all your materials gathered together. It's just a matter of assembling them, but honestly, make sure you have a lot of materials. This pile is only about 3 feet high. Some people build their hugelkultur to 7 feet high. So it depends what materials you have on hand. It can work either way. Well, we start to gather up materials from around the garden. Luckily, we have a big garden with lots of dead trees, which we were able to cut down. We have old compost, we have new compost, I have shredded bark, I have shredded leaves. So we just have a combination of organic materials that we can use in the hugelkultur, and we'll layer it gradually. We're going to start with the wood, and we had some really springy new branches that we're going to use first. And then we're going to pile on top of that an old dead cedar. We've got some other tree trunks we found and random branches. Top that off with straw. And on top of that, we'll put some of that spent compost. And finally, the huge final step is to put soil. We'll put about 1 inch of topsoil over the whole garden. I'm excited about building a hugelkultur. It's one way to expand your garden. So if you want to grow your garden and you have poor soil, one of the things you can do is build a hugelkultur. That is just simply a pile of all kinds of waste materials. We've added compost, we've added chicken manure, we've added actually just old wood chips that we had lying around. So I've been collecting materials almost indirectly for years, and we've been putting them to good use today. Another thing I learned about hugelkultur is that you can stomp it down before you add your final layer of soil. So today we added chicken manure, we added compost, we added old broccoli plants, shrubs, prunings, and even an old rotten tree.
I love hugelkultur because it's a really good way of using organic matter that you might have lying around, you know, excess manure, old wood chips, perfect, and logs and prunings. And it's a great way to return nutrients to the soil long-term basis.
Okay, that's perfect. What else do we want to think about? Do you have one tip for people if they're building a hugelkultur? You said it to us the other day, but this is a new location. It was collect materials.
It's always a really good idea to collect your materials before you want to assemble your hugelkultur. The assembling, as you saw, is a lot of work. So if you have all your materials collected in advance, then you'll be one step ahead of the game.